Where are we going?
To work.
What's work these days?
Beauty on the Vine.
What's Beauty on the Vine?
An original play by Zach Berkman, produced by Epic Theater Center. There's plays going on. Okay.
Can you tell us where we are?
We are on stage at the Clermont Theater on Theater Row in New York City.
And what's the what role do you play?
I play Lauren Chickering, a right-wing conservative radio talk show host and phenomenon, American Idol. It is ironic that I'm playing a right-wing radio talk show host. I come from a long line of Coburns. And I always say that I'm playing the anti-Laura Flanders, who's my fabulous cousin, who's a left-wing radio talk show host and feminist. And
Are you a right-wing Coburn?
no, they don't exist.
Wait, let's go back a little bit though. Who's your grandfather?
My grandfather was Claude Coburn. He was a journalist. He used the name James Helvig to write Beat the Devil. My father is Andrew Coburn, journalist, and my mother's Leslie Coburn, also a journalist and documentary filmmaker.
So how did you, with all these journalists, decide to pursue acting?
I was born an actress. I think that a lot of actors feel that if we didn't have this profession, then we would all just be certifiably insane, talking to ourselves all the time and switching personalities. So really there was no other option.
Do you feel the actor has a social responsibility?
Mm-hmm.
Or and an ability to affect change in the world?
Yes, both a responsibility and an ability to affect change. And I think that many actors do take advantage of that and have a great effect on the world. Does
the system, so to speak, like try and shush young actors from talking about political issues? Do you find it an uphill battle to like express yourself openly?
Yes, I definitely think you're discouraged from expressing yourself politically as a young actor because you never know who you're going to piss off. But there are great actors to follow who have taken that risk, and it's hasn't hurt them, or maybe it has, but they've come out the better end.
But so who are some of your role models that are actors and activists at the same time?
Well, I think Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins are doing amazing things for Iraq veterans against the war. Susan Sarandon does great things for Code Pink. Jane Fonda is obviously still in action. Sean Penn, wonderful political activist.
And what about can you talk
Angelina
a little...
Jolie?
Is she a role model of yours?
Well, yeah, she walks the walk, and not many people do.
Okay, let's talk about the play then, because it has political themes. You don't just play a right-wing radio host.
I also play L2 and L3, who are two women who went to high school with the original Lauren and surgically altered themselves to look exactly like her when they were all about 17 or 18, and then lost touch with her. And after she is brutally murdered, her husband, Lauren's husband, discovers these two doppelgangers who are incredibly different from each other. And the irony is that in the end, she's murdered by the mother of one of the women with her face. So she raged against conformity, but in the end, that's what was her downfall.
Talk a little bit about
the political message of the play.
Yeah, or just what is the play about on a deeper level?
What it's talking about is that everyone's going to try and tell you who you are in this world and try to define you, either as Democrat or as a Republican or as a type of woman or man, and that you have to be an original and be proud of your originality and your differences. And it's a response to the growing conformity in this country, the Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, Paris Hilton America. And there's a line in the play, great line, there's no greater proponent or exporter of imitation than America. So this play is kind of denouncing that and encouraging people to get back to their roots of who they are and
who Americans should, I mean, we have a history of not being imitators, of being
exactly.
innovators,
Americans
right?
achieve greatness when they think and create new things, and that's what makes this country special and great, and we seem to be losing that in our culture.
If people want to come and see the play, where do they go, and when can they come, and what city?
If you happen to be in New York City before June 3rd, you should come see Beauty on the Vine, because it's pretty entertaining and thought-provoking. And it's at the Clermont Theater at the Theater Row complex, which is on 42nd between 9th and Dyer And for tickets, you would go to ticketcentral.com.
And then just type in Beauty on the Vine.
Beauty on the Vine.
And can you talk a little bit about your work for Doctors Without Borders?
Médecins Sans Frontières. I have this intense passion to help Doctors Without Borders, maybe because they're one of the only NGOs that actually will speak out politically if they can't support a government whose country they're working in. For instance, Rwanda. They spent a lot of time working in Rwanda during the genocide and actually ended up speaking out against the Rwandan government. And for that reason, they don't accept any money from any governments, so that they can have the freedom to do that.
And what do they do? What's their mission?
They provide everything from basic to emergency care to people in war zones, in disaster zones. Also, they will train the local nurses and doctors. They don't just go to the Congo and stitch everybody up and leave. They actually spend most of the time setting up clinics and training the people there.
And you've tried to raise money for them and succeeded, right?
Yes, we raised. I have an organization along with my friend and fellow actress Jacqueline Jonet called Choose to Care, and we raised $50,000 for Doctors Without Borders last spring in one night. This year we're producing a theatrical fundraiser, which actually will turn into a hopefully 2-month run of a play based on 3 aid workers working for Doctors Without Borders. And Eve Ensler, playwright and feminist extraordinaire, is helping us write and produce, and hopefully we'll be putting it up at the Culture Project in New York in spring of 2008. And it's in the great tradition of Eve Ensler as interviewing different people, in this case doctors, and then using their stories to create 3 characters who will hopefully teach the audience a little bit about the organization and about the war zones and disaster zones where they're working, and about humanity in general.
Fantastic. Thank you. It's been Olivia Wilde. Counterviews.